Hey mamas, I'm Brooke Miller, registered dietitian, certified lactation counselor, and a mama who has helped hundreds of moms feel like themselves again after baby, boost their energy, mood, metabolism, and even milk supply. Inside of the Postpartum Shift podcast, you'll learn how to take care of your health so that you can show up best for the ones you care about most. Each week, we'll tackle topics like nutrition, exercise, breastfeeding, mental health, and so much more. Plus, you'll get access to guest experts who will share ways to make your pregnancy and postpartum experience easier. Whether you're approaching the postpartum period or you're right in the thick of it, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's topic. Hey there, mamas. I am covering a very hot topic. I've been getting so many questions lately all about tandem breastfeeding. So if you caught one of my episodes previously where I shared that I was still breastfeeding my toddler while I was pregnant, a lot of you have been asking if I'm still breastfeeding, if I'm tandem breastfeeding, if you should tandem breastfeed, what it's like, all of the things. So we're just going to be unpacking it, and I'm just going to share my personal experience. And of course, your experience may be completely different. So my goal for every kid has always been to breastfeed for 2 years. My first son, he completely just weaned himself one day. He was just over it around 22 months. So I was like, all right, you're not into this anymore. He bit me and I was like, we're done. And with my second, he was the complete opposite. He hit 2 and I was ready to be done. And I was, coming up towards the end of my pregnancy, and he was not ready at all to be done. And so I was just kind of like, I'm not going to offer it. I'll let him nurse if he really wants to. So he was nursing about every other day. It wasn't super consistent. I mean, if I left for, a few days, it's not like he was, really fussy or anything. But as I got closer, near the end of my pregnancy, I was noticing that he was wanting it more. I think he could sense that something was changing. We had family in town to help when Morgan was going to be born. So I think he kind of knew something was up. And so anyway, I had Morgan, and we were, in the hospital. And so there was a full 24 hours where I didn't see him. And then he, saw me with her, and all of a sudden he got pretty jealous when he saw another baby breastfeeding. And so he was definitely pretty whiny. The first week was really hard because he was trying to breastfeed anytime he saw her feeding. And I was like, no, this is for your sister first. And then there was a point I think he had nursed about 3 or 4 times in the first week. So it still wasn't every day. And there was one time where he latched on after Morgan ate, and he would not get off. I am talking he would not come off. He was kind of laughing, but biting down. And I was trying everything to get him off. My husband was trying everything to get him off. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's never going to let go. And so with my husband's help, I think he ended up tickling him or something and kind of got him off. And that was actually the last time he has breastfed. And that was probably 3 weeks ago. So I think we've officially weaned. Again, I went into pregnancy and postpartum this time just unsure if I wanted to tandem breastfeed, how that would look. I had zero expectations. I was truthfully ready to be done breastfeeding him. He, again, was not really ready. I was like, I'm done. Now, I've talked to moms who were not ready, and had he been younger, I think I would have continued longer. So before we got pregnant with Morgan, we were pregnant actually with a baby boy, and I miscarried around 10 weeks. And had we given birth to him, and had I not miscarried, then we would have had a baby in April. And so, at that point, Sawyer would have been under 2 years old still. And so I, had that pregnancy, made it, I definitely would have tandem breastfed for months. But just with Sawyer's age, and honestly, I was just kind of exhausted at this point. I was like, I've been breastfeeding for 2 years straight, and I'm planning to breastfeed another 2 years straight. I was just like, I'm kind of done with you, buddy. So that is where we're at. It has been, I would say 3 to 4 weeks since I've nursed him, and I think we're officially done. The only, thing I could see happening is if he got really sick, like, let's say he gets RSV or a really bad virus, or something like that, where his immune system is just really struggling, then I could see nursing him or just giving him some pumped milk. But at this point, I'm not planning to nurse him again. There was, I think, one time last week where he was kind of asking for it. But some questions I've gotten from moms is, can you breastfeed during pregnancy? So you totally can. Just know that your milk supply will dip. It will dip. Mine dipped drastically. And again, I didn't really care at this point because he was almost 2. So, when you're breastfeeding a baby under 1, if you got pregnant again, like really close together, then you just have to know, like, your milk supply will dip and you may have to supplement with formula, especially if they're under a year old. So for me, I didn't really care. He was only nursing once a day, once every other day at this point. So did not bother me. So just so you know. And something else that I felt annoyed with is during pregnancy, like, your nipples are sore. And so when you are breastfeeding a toddler and you're pregnant, it's just, I felt very irritated. I felt very touched out when I got near the end of my pregnancy. And once he was 2, I was like, oh, I'm just like touched out. I'm annoyed with it. And that was frustrating for me to have those feelings because the first, especially like 18, 20 months of nursing him, I really enjoyed it. But just at the end of my pregnancy, I was like, oh gosh, my body's uncomfortable. My nipples are uncomfortable. Like, everything's uncomfortable at this stage. So just kind of know that that is something that can happen. And, it's completely up to you. Like, I have met moms who tandem breastfeed they breastfed, a toddler and an infant for a year, overlapping, and really enjoyed it. And so there's definitely no wrong. It's completely up to when you're ready to wean, when baby's ready to wean, finding that middle ground. It is really hard because I feel like usually the baby is ready before mom, or mom is ready before baby. Like, it is kind of hard to find a time, and so some of that is a little bit of, kind of meeting in the middle for what works best with your mental and physical health and what's working for baby and what your goals are, and trying to find that middle ground. So that is something to keep in mind. If you've been wanting to reach your healthiest weight and feel like yourself again postpartum without having to sacrifice your favorite foods or your milk supply, I've got a free workshop just for you. Inside of this free workshop, you'll discover how to boost energy, mood, metabolism, and even protect your milk supply. You'll learn common mistakes that moms make that actually cause exhaustion, mood swings, low milk supply, and weight loss resistance to become worse, things that moms don't even realize. And you'll learn the proven 3-step method to heal your hormones and metabolism after baby, so you can go from surviving to thriving postpartum. Plus, as a free gift, you'll get my postpartum snack guide when you come hang out with us. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes to save your seat today. Spots are limited. See you there. And the biggest thing to keep in mind if you are going to tandem breastfeed, or you're planning to, is you always want to make sure that your baby is getting milk first. So making sure that you're feeding on both sides, making sure that the baby is getting, the milk first. And then once baby is fed, then you can go ahead and feed your older child or your toddler. So we just want to make sure that you're not feeding the older child or toddler first. You just want to make sure that the baby is getting milk first, because that is their only source of nutrition. So that's really the only thing that we have to be concerned about if you are tandem breastfeeding, and just making sure that, the baby is having enough wet and dirty diapers, and that the baby is getting plenty of milk. The nice thing about tandem breastfeeding, especially in the first few weeks for me, I really only tandem breastfed, I would say, for about 2 weeks, but the nice thing about it is my milk came in really quickly. We brought her in for her 2-week checkup, and she had gained 1 pound, which is a lot for a baby to gain. So she was born at 7 pounds, 1 ounce, and she was up to about 8 pounds at her 2-week checkup. So that was incredible weight gain. I've actually never had a baby gain so well in the first 2 weeks compared to my, other 2 children. And I really do think the fact that she gained weight so well in the first 2 weeks was because I was tandem breastfeeding. So that is definitely one huge advantage to tandem breastfeeding, is your milk supply is going to come in sooner than other moms. And, it can really help your baby gain weight initially in the first few weeks. So that is where we are at. We are settling in to 3 kids, and that transition, it has been about as chaotic as I imagined and envisioned. So all of my friends that have 3 or 4 kids really prepared me for it. So I definitely knew it would be challenging moving forward. So we are adjusting to 3 kids. We're getting into a routine. We're bumping up our 2-year-old up to 5 days a week of preschool. So I'm super excited about that. So Monday through Friday, in the next 2 weeks or so, Monday through Friday, both my boys will be gone for, 4 to 6 hours. My youngest will be gone 4 hours a day, and then my oldest will be gone 6 hours a day. And so that just gives me, time alone with just Morgan. And so I'm really excited for that time with just her to bond. And obviously, if you have multiple kids and toddlers, that in a lot of ways, just having one baby at home feels easier. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Feels easier than having, toddlers who are mobile and getting into everything. And I don't know if this is just a boy thing, but my boys are wild. They are into everything. They are nonstop all of the time. Actually, we literally have a plumber here right now upstairs because one of my boys, we'll find out what he finds, but one of the boys threw something in the toilet and flushed it. And if he pulls out a diaper out of the line, then I know it was my oldest. I know it was Ashton because he likes to just take diapers and throw them in the toilet and flush them. And then my 2-year-old likes to throw toys in the toilet and try to flush them. So we're going to find out what the plumber finds. Hopefully he can find whatever it is that's clogged our toilet. And life hack, now we have a like a lock on our toilet. And so we're going to have to actually use that pretty consistently now. So that is about how well that transition has been going with 3 kids, in case you're wondering. But I am just really enjoying the postpartum period this time around. I mean, I've always enjoyed actually the postpartum period. I really love the baby stage. It is my absolute favorite stage. I love the baby snuggles. I love breastfeeding and, all of those things. And so I'm just really excited to be in this period. And I am also sad because all of her firsts are my last as a mom, and so it's been also kind of emotional, even, seeing her grow out of her newborn clothes already. I'm like, oh, I'm getting emotional over this, and this is my last one and all the things. So if you're wondering, yes, this is our last one. My husband's getting snipped very soon. So all I think of is Michael Scott going snip, snap, snip, snap. So really excited for that. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be in this stage of life, and it's just it's bittersweet. There's a lot of emotions going on. So I would say that this has definitely been the most emotional postpartum experience, not in a bad way, but just very, very bittersweet being in this place. And so really excited about it. And yeah, it's been chaotic. I have learned to just let things go. Things are going to be messy. My kids are going to run around. They're going to get into trouble. They're going to fall down. All of these things are just going to happen. And, I've just learned to kind of embrace the chaos and roll with the punches at this point in life. And I think the more and more kids you add to your family, that's just the attitude you got to have. So that is my advice. If you are going from 1 to 2 kids or 2 to 3 kids, that is my advice to you. And yeah, if you are going through the tandem breastfeeding experience, I'm cheering you on. If you're planning to do it, I think it's awesome. There's, like I said, there's so many great aspects to doing it, and you just have to find what works best for you and your family. And yeah, so I'm cheering for you on your journey, and I will see you in the next episode. Exercise is crucial for our overall mental and physical health, especially during pregnancy and postpartum. Something that has helped me stay really consistent with strength training and yoga at home during nap time is the Expecting and Empowered workout app. I love that I can choose how many weeks pregnant or postpartum I am, and the app tells me exactly what to do. Plus, there's cardio, yoga, and strength training options for new moms and moms to be. You can go ahead and click the link in the show notes to get 7 days free and also save 15% off the annual option when you use promo code Nutrition for Mamas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to the Postpartum Shift podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share this episode with a mom friend and leave a written review. This helps the podcast reach and help even more moms. Come say hi over on Instagram at Nutrition for Mamas.